to forever. Whether it's 48 years or ever, it's terrible. Costing the typical family $33,000. What they did to this country should never, ever be forgotten. It's early, but he has to be rated as the worst president we've ever had by far. The Autopen did much of the damage. The Autopen, he was the Autopen president. Because I don't believe a sane president would have ever signed the kind of things that he signed. But now grocery prices, energy prices, airfares, mortgage rates, rent,
energjisë dhe të ushqimeve janë ulur ndjeshëm, edhe pse trashëguam një katastrofë ekonomike, por kemi bërë një punë të jashtëzakonshme gjatë 12 muajve të fundit. Çmimet e ilaçeve gjithashtu po ulen deri në 90%.
But we have a favored nations policy that every president wanted, no president was able to get. I got it, and other nations approved it, and I had to use tariffs in order to get
Pra, për një
it.
punë jashtëzakonshme, shumë presidentë kanë dashur, por se kanë arritur dot, unë e bëra.
London costs $130. Think it costs $10 in London, costs $130 in New York or in Los Angeles. And I'd say, boy, that's bad. Friends of mine would say, you know, we go to London, you can buy the stuff for nothing. We go all over the world, we could buy it for nothing. Because basically America was subsidizing every nation in the world. Because presidents allowed them to get away with it. It became very
Barnave në
tough.
Amerikë ishin më të lartat krahasuar me vendet të tjera.
Macron, I watched him yesterday with those beautiful sunglasses. What the hell happened?
Presidentin Macron e pash dje me një palë syze të mrekullueshme. Çfarë drejshi ndodhi?
But I watched him sort of be tough. But he was at $10 for a pill. And I said, Emmanuel, and I have all the big pharmaceutical companies are in total agreement. It wasn't easy, by the way. They're tough, smart. They've been getting away with the scam for a long time. But they gave it up. But they said, you'll never get the countries to approve it. I said, why is that? Because they won't. They always said, we're not paying any more. Get the rest for the United States. So over the years, they stayed the same. We just went up, up, up. And I mean, we would pay 13, 14, 15 times more than certain countries would. So I said, no, they'll approve it 100%. Sir, you'll never get them to approve it.
Negociata që unë zhvillova me kompaninë farmaceutike bën që çmimi i barnave të ulej ndjeshëm.
And I said, Emmanuel, you're going to
I
have to
thash,
lift the price of
Emanuel,
the bill to $20, maybe $30. Think of that.
do të
That means
duhet
it's a doubling.
ta rrisësh çmimin e barnave.
Prescription drugs. Might be a tripling, might be a quadrupling. It's not easy. No, Donald, I will not do that. I said, yes, you will, 100%.
Po do të duhet ta rrisësh, Emanuel, çmimin e barnave.
Asking me to double. I said, Emmanuel, you've been taking advantage of the United States for 30 years with prescription drugs.
Përfituar
You really
kaq
should
shumë
do it, and you will do it. I have no doubt. In fact,
nga mbështetja amerikane,
no, I will not do it.
edhe pse në fillim refuzoi që ta bënte këtë.
Or triple, because the world being a bigger place than the United States, it's not that you meet in the middle. You just have to go up some, and we come down a lot. They go up a little, we come down a lot. So we're at $130, they're at 10. So they may have to go to 20 or 30.
Pra nga $100
I said,
që kushtonte një ilaç, në Shtetet e Bashkuara ai ul ndjeshëm.
The answer is you're going to do it fast. And if you don't, I'm putting a 25% tariff on everything that you sell into the United States and a 100% tariff.
Gjithashtu folëm edhe për tarifat mbi produktet franceze që do të hynin në territorin amerikan.
I don't want to go public with it, but you may make me do that. No, Donald, I will do it. I will do it. It took me, on average, 3 minutes a country. Saying the same thing, you will do it. They all said, no, I will not do it. You're asking me to double the cost of prescription. I said, that's right, because you've been screwing us
Pra,
for
Macron më tha se po më kërkon që të rrisim ndjeshëm çmimin e barnave dhe i thash po, është e vërtetë, sepse ju keni shfrytzuar për kaq shumë kohë Shtetet e Bashkuara të Amerikës.
number three, different countries. This is also national security we're talking about. Can't not fail. We're not going to subsidize the whole world.
Ne nuk pritet të mbështesim të gjithë botën.
So one of the biggest things
Pra një nga gjërat që kam bërë është se
most favored nation, we will pay whatever the lowest price
do të paguajmë çmimin më të ulët në të gjithë botën.
prices are going to be
Pra çmimet e barnave janë ulur dhe do të vazhdojnë të ulen dhe në 2000%.
we'll go with the way the fake news likes it better because it sounds, can you imagine a 90% reduction sounds much worse. But drug prices are going to be coming down tremendously.
Pra çmimet e barnave do vazhdojnë të ulen
But they did it, in all fairness, without tariffs. I look at
brenda territorit amerikan.
after declining $3,000 under Biden, real incomes are up in the United States by $2,000, $3,000, and even $5,000 and more. Home ownership has always been a symbol of health and vigor of American society, but that goal fell out of reach for millions and millions of people in the Biden era because interest rates went up so high. Today I'm taking action to bring back
Sot
this
po
bedrock
ndërmarr
of the
veprim
American dream.
për ëndrrën amerikane
Institutional investment firms, many of you are here, many of you are good friends.
sa i përket pronësisë
I'm so sorry.
shtëpiave.
But you've driven up housing prices by purchasing hundreds of thousands of single-family homes, and it's been a great
Edhe pse çmimet
often as much as 10%
janë rritur
of houses on
ndjeshëm.
the market. You know, the crazy thing is a person can't get depreciation on a house, but when a corporation buys it, they get depreciation. Okay, that's something we're going to have to think about too. I don't know if too many people think about that. You buy a corporation, they buy 500 houses, they buy hundreds of thousands, they buy 500 houses, they can take depreciation. A person sweats and works and buys one house, they can't. But homes are built for people, not for corporations, and America will not become a nation of renters. We're not going to do that. That's why I have signed an executive order banning large institutional investors from buying single-family homes. It's just not fair to the public. They're not able to buy a house. And I'm calling on Congress to pass that ban into permanent law, and I think they will. One of the biggest barriers to saving for a down payment has been surging credit card debt. The profit margin for credit card companies now exceeds 50%, one of the biggest. And they charge Americans interest rates of 28%, 30%, 31%, 32%. Whatever happened to usury? So to help our citizens recover from the Biden disaster, all caused by this horrible precedent, just horrible precedent, I'm asking Congress to cap credit card interest rates at 10% for 1 year. And this will help millions of Americans save for a home. They have no idea they're paying 28%. They go out there a little late in their payment and they end up losing their house. It's terrible. To unleash innovation in savings and financing, I'm also working to ensure America remains the crypto capital of the world.
Tani për sa i përket aspektit të
Genius Act into law, and now Congress is
kriptos,
working very hard on
ne po punojmë shumë
crypto market structure
për të
legislation.
strukturuar legjislacionin e monedhave kripto.
Soon unlocking new pathways
Do
for
të kemi
Americans to reach
mënyra
financial
të reja për të arritur lirit
thought it was politically good and it was
financiare në Shtetet e Bashkuara të Amerikës.
support, but more importantly, China wanted that market too.
Kina e kërkonte
AI. And we
këtë
got that
treg
market, I
kaq
think,
shumë,
pretty well
pra
locked up,
ishte
but I didn't
tregu
do it.
i inteligjencës artificiale dhe
Before the election, when they
gjatë
realized
administratës Trump,
that, you know,
administratës
against
Biden,
over crypto.
situata me AI-n dhe me kripton ishte shumë e dobët.
It is politically popular, but it's much more importantly we have to make it
Ne duhet ta bëjmë
get the hold of it, and once
në
they have
mënyrë
that
që
hold,
Kina
they
të
can
mos e
get
marrë
that. So I'm honored to have done it. Finally, I've instructed
Dhe
government
gjithashtu kam
institutions to purchase
instruktuar
up to $200 billion in mortgage bonds to bring down
qeverinë
interest rates.
që të ulim
And I'll be announcing a new Fed chairman in the
interesat
distant future. I think he'll do a very good job.
dhe mendoj se do të bëjmë një punë shumë të mirë në këtë aspekt.
They give that away, so we have something, get something. But somebody that's very respected. They're all respected. They're all great. Everyone that I interviewed is